4 keys that can help you become more successful as a reseller. And stick around to the end of the video as we're going to be going over my top sales for the month of February and going over all of the financials, my net, my gross, and all of those top items that we sold in the month of February, and going over some of the brands and what to be on the lookout for the next time that you go out sourcing. All right, so key number 1 is having an organized shipping station. And if you're planning to do eBay for the long term and you're wanting to ship out 20, 30, 40 items a day, having an organized shipping station is going to be one of the keys for you to be successful. And what am I talking about having a shipping station? I'm talking about specifically having a dedicated area in your warehouse, in your office, where you can put all of your shipping supplies when it comes to the shipping process. So for example, I have my thermal printer, my scale, my working laptop for printing out orders, all of the medium flat rate boxes that I would need to ship out jackets, shoes, and larger items. I'm gonna have things to my right for quick and easy access of my flat rate mailers that I ship out anything over a pound. Things like women's jeans, men's jeans, hoodies are gonna go into here. I have all my poly bags, my poly mailers, my 12 by 15s for anything that's less than a pound is gonna ship this way, USPS first class. And you're gonna want all of these things close by, because the last thing that you want is to be running around, grabbing your poly bags, going over to the corner of your warehouse, grabbing the tape, and all of that. We're trying to do this as effective and as efficiently as possible. So if I could ship out 30 orders within about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I'm really maximizing the time that it takes to do that process. But if I'm having to run over here and go over there, that's going to be really hard for me to be as efficient and effective as possible, and it's going to make the shipping process a lot more tedious and time consuming, which is not what I'm all about. So having things set up like this is going to be the best way for you to maximize your time when you're wanting to grow on eBay. And yes, you can find all of these items linked in the description down below, and it can be really helpful if you are looking to niche down into clothing. All right, so key number 2 is going to be having a dedicated listing station. And if you do not have a dedicated space where you can do your listings on a daily basis, it's going to be harder for you to break open that laptop and get on your phone and start doing those listings. If you have something that's already set up, ready to go after you're done doing your photos, then you're going to have an easier time doing what we all really do not like, right? And that is the listing process. So creating a seamless flow of having a dedicated space, of having a place where you could do your listings, it's going to help with that procrastination that can often set in from doing listings. So having something where you can have a dedicated space. I use a sit-stand desk here. It's really helpful for me in my posture as I do 50 listings a day. So if it takes me around 2 to 3 hours to do these listings, I'm going to want to be as comfortable as possible, having my back straight, having my elbows at a 90-degree angle, having the monitor be at an arm's distance length away, so I'm not doing too much strain on my body as I am doing this daily, and it does take me about a good 3 hours to knock out 50 listings. So it can be helpful for you as you go along your eBay journey, and if you're wanting to grow this into a business, keep in mind, hey, do I see myself a year from now doing listings on my phone or listings hunched over on a laptop? Maybe make that investment into your long-term health and your long-term future. Maybe get a sit-stand desk, maybe get a second monitor where you can have your photos on this side, your eBay listings on this side. It's really going to go a long way to not only your health, your mental health, but keeping you on that proactive side of that listings, where it can be sometimes where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do those listings. But if it's set up and ready to go, it's going to be a lot easier for you to jump on those listings and get them knocked out. Oh, there's the camera. So getting started on eBay can be a tricky situation, especially if you have a hard time figuring out how to title your item, how to price your item, and how to find items to begin with. So for a limited time only, you could check out, linked in the description down below, where I'm offering a free trial to my eBay coaching. Included in that is an eBay store review and as well as a reseller spreadsheet. I work with you for 5 hours a week, helping you put the same system and process in place that helped me achieve over $178,000 in sales on eBay last year. I work with you helping you reach your goals. And if you don't feel like you're getting value, you can just cancel on day 6. That is okay. Or if you do feel like it is valuable for you and you do need some accountability, then it's just $1 a day after that. And you can join dozens of other people working towards their eBay goals, helping them break free from their 9-to-5 and helping them establish themselves as an eBay business. And key number 3, and this is so crucial, especially if you're selling clothing, is having a dedicated photo station for your clothing. I use a vertical flat lay station here, a 4x5-foot board with 2 LED lights on each side, so I can easily process my clothing. I take about 700 photos every day when I'm doing my clothing, and I'm just really looking to maximize my efficiency. So I have things like a lint roller here hanging on the light. I have any needed clothes hangers that I'm going to need if I have a polyester shirt or a rayon shirt or women's top that's going to slide off this board easily. I can just hook it up, ready to go, right on a nail there too. So I have a pair of scissors. I know, as crazy as it sounds, just a simple pair of scissors is going to help cut away any fabric that's hanging or anything that's maybe looking out of place, and it's going to make the photo look a lot crispier. And also having things like another type of hanger for pants. Not all pants, especially athleisure, Lululemon, kind of running activewear, is not going to fit on this cotton blanket. So I'm going to be able to have this hanger here so things don't slide off and go everywhere. So having those simple things are really going to make the difference in your photo process. And maybe you're a shoe reseller, maybe you're a game seller, maybe you're a media seller. You're going to want to implement those same principles of having a dedicated setup so you can just have it ready to go, get your photos out of the way, and really make that process a lot easier. You don't want to be setting things up every time you have to take photos and putting things away every time you're done, because it's going to really cause a lot of friction between that photo process and that listing process, which is what we're going to jump into right after photos. And having a simple fabric shaver is also going to be really nice for any product that comes in with pilling. You can just shave it real quick and it's going to make it look a lot nicer and a lot neater. So I don't know what you guys do, how you implement your photo setup and what you do. I just say that this is what I do, and this is how I can take 50 listings in a day and have it all done within about 4 hours. Takes me about an hour to knock out 700 photos. Takes me about another 3 hours to knock out those 50 listings. So I don't know what you do, but this is what I do, and this is how I can maximize my time and be as efficient and as effective as possible. I put this flat lay station, this vertical flat lay station, on a table that is right for my height. So I'm able to really not be bending over and taking photos and my back. You know, I want to be able to just have it right in front of me. This is my workspace. This is where I'm at. And I'm just like a robot, a machine, taking the photos. I take about 12 to 16 to 20 photos per item. At the minimum, I'm taking 12 photos per item. So I really want it to avoid any back strain, any neck strain, any muscle tears, because if I'm doing this on a daily basis, I want to be able to maximize efficiency. Right here, you don't see it, but I have an anti-fatigue kind of padded mat, so it can also help with my feet. So I really highly suggest having some kind of permanent setup where you can just easily flow into your photo station, knock out what you need to, and get it done. All right, and the final key number 4, and this may seem obvious, is how am I going to store all of these items? If you see behind me here, this is the consecutive numerical inventory system, where everything goes in sequential order by number, by SKU on these boxes here. So if you're going to be doing clothing in particular, you're going to want to have some type of inventory system. A lot of people have the system known as the bins type system, where you have A1, B1, C1, and you have them in totes or bins where you store your clothing. For me, I really love having this type of system because I'm able to just look at the SKU number, pick the order, and put it in as it comes in on eBay, so I can stay organized and maximize my time. So if you're looking to get going on eBay, in specifically with clothing, you're going to need to decide, am I going to do bins, and am I going to spend my time digging through bins and pulling bins and going up and going down, and always the order seems to be on the bottom bin, but you're going to want to just make that decision Am I looking towards the future, 1-2 years down the road? Am I going to still be lifting bins up and putting bins over here? Or am I going to want to transition to something more seamless and organized like this type of system? I know the initial investment with these shelves can be $100, $150, but once you do that, you're really making that investment into your health, into your business, and back into your time, as you're able to get that time back from having to dig through all these bins. So you can find a lot of this linked in the description down below. These shelves, these boxes that I use that are 8 by 8 by 32. And once you make that investment, your back is going to be happy, your brain is going to be happy, you're going to get more mental space back, you're not going to be worried about losing orders, and you're going to be very happy, as this is modular, so you can just keep adding on as your business keeps growing. And let's jump right into the computer and take a look at what we did for the month of February. All right, so you could see here we did a little over $14,000 in gross sales on eBay selling men's and women's pre-owned clothing. We had about 669 sales for that month, averaging a $22 average sale price. Our selling costs, things like fees, shipping, are totaling a little over $6,700 in selling costs, which is making up 45% of our total sales. And we had $7,300 in net, excluding taxes and cost of goods. So let's take a look what categories that we're specifically selling in. And this is something that I've been selling in for over 2 years as a full-time reseller. And I'm selling things like jeans. I'm selling things like men's coats and vests, men's pants. And our fourth category, which came to my surprise, was women's tops. We sold $1,000 in women's tops last month. And then fifth, rounding it out, is men's underwear. In these storage units that I found last year was full of vintage men's Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren underwear, new in box. So I was able to kind of lot those up together and get them out the door as well. So that's kind of just like the quick overview of what happened in February. Now let's look into what specifically we netted to be able to really squeeze out what was $14,000 in sales, but what was the actual profit. So if you look at this transaction summary, it gives you an idea of a ballpark range of what you kind of can make after you have all those shipping labels taken out, those eBay fees, the promotions, the returns, and it gives you a good idea of what you made. So you could see that we had $700 in opening funds. That is funds that had transferred over from January and are now had been pending and now are released funds that came into our February statement. So right off the bat, $700. And then we had another $13,000 in orders for that month. And then we put out about $650 worth of refunds, no payment disputes. I spent about $4,000 in shipping labels, which all of those shipping labels go on a credit card that gets paid off on a monthly basis. So we get a 5% back on our shipping labels that it just adds up over the year, which is highly recommended if you're able to have a credit line that can sustain $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 worth of credit and have it on automatic payments, so you're able to at least get that paid off every month. And other eBay fees are going to be $1,000 and $8.30 in adjustments and $7,287 in payouts. So that is excluding tax and cost of goods. So we're left with maybe around $500 to $5,500 worth of profit for that month. So that is just something to consider when you're looking at your payouts and you're looking at your financial statements. Always keep in mind that you're not including tax in that, and you're not including your cost of goods. That's something that you're going to want to deduct after the fact. So just keep that in mind as you go forward, because some people think that they're making a lot of profit when they really aren't making anything at all. So let's jump into what exactly sold. I'm picking out about 9 or 10 items of our top sales for last month. So the next time you go out sourcing, maybe you can find some of those items as well. So the first thing I would say is be on the lookout for this watch, the Baum & Mercier pocket watch, stainless steel, the Genevieve 1830. This was new in box. I accepted a best offer of $400 as I have no way to test these watches. This watch had a dead battery, and it's a very nice watch, a very nice pocket watch by the brand Baum & Mercier. So you're going to want to look out for anything with this brand. And if it's going to be falling within your price range and within your budget, then you're going to want to pick it up. slower sell-through rate. This was listed in December 18th and I sold it in February 20th. So not too slow of a sell-through rate, but obviously I want to get these items moving and grooving outside my store. Very beautiful watch. You're going to want to look for that kind of logo. If you are picking up watches, I'm not a watch expert by any means, but I do know that there's a ton of money and profit to be made in the watch category. So for all those people that want to get into watches, maybe this is something you can add onto your brand list. Beautiful watch. I don't carry pocket watches, so it had no use to me, and I'm glad it's going out into the economy and someone is going to appreciate it rather than just sitting in a box in a storage unit for the last 20 years. So the next one is going to be this Abercrombie & Fitch men's parka down jacket. This was new with tags. I took a best offer of $275, $14 shipping. Abercrombie & Fitch is a staple brand for me. I'm always picking it up. This is a beautiful jacket, brand new, and the original price tag was quite steep, I believe. Yeah, so $280 originally, and I had it listed for $299, and someone had just bought it, paid on February 10th, and I had it listed on December 12th. So beautiful jacket. Anything Abercrombie & Fitch I am picking up, and maybe that's something you don't find in your area, but if you do find it, I'd recommend looking up some comps, checking sell-through rates, and just making sure that it falls within your budget and seeing if it's a good pickup for you. The next one is gonna be this Gucci bag. It's like a little tote. It was coated canvas leather and new with tags, came from the manufacturer. I did verify it using the Check app, and everything checked out really well. So obviously Gucci is going to be a pickup, but you're really going to want to be careful when it comes to listing those items on eBay, because Gucci, Louis Vuitton are one of the most copied and faked items out there. So you're going to want to use resources like the RealReal or Check app to be able to verify if these items are authentic. Nothing worse than putting a faked Gucci bag up on eBay, risking your account, and going through all that trouble just to get a defect on your account is not worth it. So you're going to want to use maybe a consignment service like the RealReal. They send you a prepaid shipping label. You ship out your item that you might not think is authentic. They're going to ship it to their authentication center, and they're going to make sure, is this real or not? And if it is, they're going to hold it for you. They're going to list it up on your website, and they're going to give you 50 to 60% of the sales price. In my opinion, that is probably the best way to go about it if you're finding anything Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and it might be used. Maybe you find a Coach jacket out there that goes for $1,800 on eBay, and you just don't know if it's real. You're going to want to send it to the RealReal. Or you can use an app called Check app, and they can verify it through photos that you send to their authentication team. So something to keep in mind. I am happy to sell Gucci online on eBay if it is real. Otherwise, I'm not going to be risking my eBay account going through all that trouble just to sell this bag. But I had it for $399, and it sold for like $250. I took a best offer, and it's very small, very simple, nothing really too special about it, but someone out there obviously thought it could be put to good use, and I'm very happy to get this item out of here. I started it on December 28th, and it sold on February 22nd. The next sale would be this Robert Graham blazer. Robert Graham is a very good brand to be picking up. Slower sell-through rate on their men's t-shirts, and also the average sale price over the last 2 years has gone down dramatically. So don't be expecting to get $80, $90, $100 for your Robert Graham t-shirt. More in that $30 to $50 to $60 range, depending on the embroidery, the style, the material, and whatnot. So this is a new with tags Robert Graham blazer. Took a best offer. I had it for $199. I listed it on September 27th, and it sold on sometime in February. So Something to be on the lookout for. The original owner paid $298 for it. This came from a storage unit buyout I did last year and still paying dividends. I love Robert Graham. Pick up their belts, pick up their ties, pick up their shirts, their blazers, their jackets. It's going to be a pickup for me all the time, especially if I'm paying between $1 and $2, which is usually what my buy cost averages out over the course of a year. So Robert Graham, if you're a new reseller, you're going to want to be looking out for anything Robert Graham. Jack Spade, the next one. There's Kate Spade and there's Jack Spade. They are sister companies, and this Jack Spade canvas backpack sold for, I had it best offer of like $115, $120. I had it listed for $179, and it sold. I had it listed February 2nd, and it sold on February 5th. So what a blessing. Happy to get these items out of here. There was several totes and bags and messenger bags that came in this storage unit, and I don't sell these as I'm not set up for selling those types of things. And it just, I list about 1 or 2 bags a day just to stay consistent in that category. Other than that, this was a beautiful sell for me. Very happy. You're going to want to be on the lookout for anything Jack Spade. Jack Spade is an awesome brand to be looking out for. Kate Spade as well. So if you're finding, Jack Spade, anything out there, look up the comps, make sure it falls within your margins, and you're going to want to consider picking it up. The next thing is these Stacey Adams beautiful Oxford boots. They sold for $179 plus $14.95 shipping. Stacey Adams is a great brand to be picking up. These were made in Italy, and they are just some Oxford wingtip boots. They were new in box, leather, brown, beautiful, just awesome, and listed them on January 29th, and they sold on February 14th. So beautiful boots. If you could find anything Stacey Adams, here's kind of what the box looks like, kind of the brand. These were the Madison 2 wingtip lace boots made out of leather, and just happy to get those boots out of here. I don't sell a lot of shoes, but when I do, and if I do pick them up, they need to be in pretty much new condition or need no cleaning. The next sale up were these Fry boots. These were listed on February 14th, and they sold on February 18th, 4 days later. I took a best offer of $100. I had them for $149. Similar to the last boots, as these were just some basic lace-up boots, and awesome. Fry is a wonderful brand to be picking up. I love that brand. When I see it, I pick it up. It doesn't really matter the buy cost. If I'm paying $20 for their boots or $10 for the boots, it's gonna be a buy for me, as as the sell-through rate within that brand is very good, especially when it comes to their men's boots. So anything by this brand, Fry, you're gonna want to look it up, make sure it falls within your margins, and possibly pick it up. Great brand to be having on your brand list. The next thing is another watch. This Victorinox Swiss Army knife, or this Victorinox watch, beautiful blue, sold for $100. I had it for $149. It had a dead battery, and all of that was disclosed in the listing. Beautiful watch. If you are looking to get into watches, there's a lot of money to be made. If you know a lot about watches and repairing watches, that's just going to be to your advantage. So Victorinox is kind of a hit and miss brand with me. I have a Victorinox tote that has been sitting in my inventory for like 8 months. So just because it's a Victorinox doesn't make it automatically a great brand to pick up. But if you do find some of their watches, maybe it might be a right buy for you. And the next one that comes up is a Patagonia jacket. I love Patagonia. If you're a new reseller, you're going to want to be picking up anything by this brand, as it is in high demand. This was a new with tag jacket, nylon lightweight jacket, new with tags, sold for $120 plus shipping. Love this brand. It's awesome. Original buyer paid $148 for it, and it was just a basic nylon lightweight jacket. And got it out the door, had it listed August 15th, and it didn't sell until February. So it did take a good 4 to 6 months. I did have it originally listed at $149, but it was starting to reach the date in my system where I have a markdown sale automatically go onto it of a 20% off markdown sale. So love that brand, always picking it up, and I highly suggest you do as well. The next brand is Diesel Also love this brand. These are some diesel pants, kind of some older school cargo camo pants. These were new at tags, sold for $63 plus shipping. I had listed them August 19th and they just sold February 19th. So they did take a good 6 months to sell, but happy to get these pants out the door. Love diesel. They were originally $120, and I had them listed at $79.95. I knew that the style was kind of out of style, as these were, the manufacturer tag had like 2011 on it. So that's really dependent on the things that you pick up. Make sure that they are in style, because even if it's new in tags and it's not in style, it could just take a little longer to sell. So if you are looking out for new brands to put on your brands list, you're going to want to add most of these brands that we just went over to your brand list. If you want to know what else is selling in our eBay store, and you want to know like what kind of items I'm picking up on a daily and a weekly basis, you could check out this video here where it goes over more in detail of the top 50 brands that I'm constantly on the lookout for. And included in that is a free ebook where you could download, have on your phone, and take that with you for the next time you go outsourcing.